Welcome to the Automated Daily, Tech News Edition. I'm your host, Trendteller, and today is the 12th of September, 2023. We've got a lot to cover, so let's dive right in. First up, Apple is making waves with a couple of significant updates. The tech giant is expected to ditch the Lightning connector on the iPhone in favor of a USB-C port. This move is in response to a new EU law that requires the use of USB-C for physical charging. While this change will create a more universal charging standard, it will also mean iPhone owners will need to replace their cables or use dongles. There's also chatter about the iPhone 15 possibly featuring a Thunderbolt port instead of a standard USB-C port. But the ultimate goal for Apple and the industry at large seems to be a shift towards wireless charging, as seen with the introduction of MagSafe and the promotion of the new Qi 2 standard for wireless charging. In other Apple news, the latest iOS 17 update includes a feature that lets users record their daily mood and emotions. The aim is to help users build emotional awareness and resilience by providing daily and weekly summaries of their feelings and the factors that may have influenced them. However, this has raised concerns about the amount of personal data Apple collects and the potential misuse and commodification of sensitive mental health data. Moving on to WhatsApp, the messaging app is working on cross-platform messaging in response to EU regulations. The EU recently named 6 tech companies, including WhatsApp's parent company Meta, as gatekeepers under the Digital Markets Act. This has led to WhatsApp introducing a new screen called Third-Party Chats in its beta version, which will allow users to receive messages from people using other messaging apps. This means users of apps like Signal, Telegram, and Snapchat will be able to send messages to WhatsApp and Messenger users without needing to create an account. WhatsApp has 6 months to comply with the regulations, and interoperability should be live by March 2024. Next, we have some exciting news from the world of astronomy. New electronic devices called smart boxes have been developed for the Square Kilometre Array, SKA, low-frequency telescope, currently under construction in Western Australia. These devices are so quiet that they emit less electromagnetic radiation than a mobile phone on the moon. The SKA Low telescope, along with its mid-frequency counterpart in South Africa, will be the world's largest and most sensitive radio telescope once it comes online. The sensitivity of the telescope means that it is susceptible to interference from human-made sources of radio waves, so the development of these radio-quiet devices is crucial to minimize disruptions and ensure accurate astronomical research. Back to Apple, users have been urged to update their devices after researchers from the University of Toronto's Citizen Lab discovered a vulnerability in iPhone devices that was being actively exploited to deliver NSO Group's Pegasus spyware. The vulnerability, known as BLASTPASS, allowed attackers to compromise iPhones running the latest version of iOS and involved malicious images sent through iMessage. Citizen Lab promptly disclosed its findings to Apple, which issued patches and urged users to update their devices. The NSO Group, which has been blacklisted by the US government, has not responded to the allegations. In the realm of 5G technology, Qualcomm has announced that it will supply Apple with 5G modems for iPhones through 2026. This is a change from previous expectations that Apple would develop its own 5G modem starting in 2024. The continued sales to Apple will benefit Qualcomm's handset business, which reported $5.26 billion in sales in the last quarter. About 21% of Qualcomm's fiscal 2022 revenue came from Apple. Qualcomm currently supplies Apple with 5G modems, but Apple has been working on building its own modems. However, analysts believe it will be challenging for Apple to move away from Qualcomm's chips due to their complexity. Qualcomm also collects royalties from Apple through a 6-year agreement that was settled in 2019. Switching gears to self-driving cars, CNBC tech and climate editor Matt Rossoff recently took a ride in a Waymo self-driving car with his teenage son. The ride was uneventful and almost boring, demonstrating that the technology is ready and could become a common way to get around for short urban trips. Waymo and its competitors need to scale up in a cost-effective way for self-driving cars to become widespread. Microsoft has announced the Copilot copyright commitment, which promises to protect Copilot customers from copyright infringement claims. If a third party sues a commercial customer for copyright infringement for using Microsoft's copilots or the output they generate, Microsoft will legally defend the customer and cover any damages and legal fees. The commitment applies to Copilot services and Bing Chat Enterprise, including Microsoft 365 Copilot and GitHub Copilot. Microsoft acknowledges the copyright concerns with using generative AI output and has incorporated filters and technologies to reduce the likelihood of returning infringing content. Customers must use the guardrails and content filters to qualify for the indemnity coverage. In gaming news, Riot Games has announced a new initiative for their game VALORANT called Snapshot. This platform allows players to showcase their skills, stats, and gameplay in a creative and personalized way. It also serves as a pathway for players to potentially join professional teams. Snapshot will be available in multiple languages and aims to bring the global VALORANT community together. Players can log in with their Riot ID, create videos and images highlighting their gameplay, and share their creations on social media. Finally, researchers at EPFL in Switzerland have engineered E.coli bacteria to generate electricity from wastewater. The modified bacteria, which exhibit enhanced extracellular electron transfer, EET, can produce electricity while metabolizing a variety of organic substrates. The team tested the bacteria on wastewater collected from a local brewery and found that the engineered E. coli thrived while exotic electric microbes faltered. The researchers believe that this technology could offer a sustainable solution for organic waste processing and energy production. The genetically flexible nature of the bacteria also makes it a versatile tool for other applications such as microbial fuel cells, electrosynthesis, and biosensing. And that's a wrap for today's edition of the Automated Daily. I'm Trend Teller, and I'll be back tomorrow with more tech news. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe.